So this is a first. Certainly we're all wearing our masks and doing what we can, but really doing more of a virtual opening here today. And this is really the culmination of many hands, and we're going to highlight the people that have really brought this amazing Daniel Maltz Rhino Reserve exhibit to fruition. I want to thank our Board of Park Commissioners who are with us. Debbie Berry is with us this morning. Dan Moore and Bruce Rinker were not able to attend, but hopefully are watching. While we wish you were all here in person to mark this very special occasion, again, we are hoping that you're connecting to us virtually and look forward to welcoming everybody back as soon as absolutely possible. Again, this is a very exciting day as we officially gather to unveil the enhanced Daniel Maltz Rhino Reserve. It's home to the zoo's 5 critically endangered eastern black rhinoceros herd. These enhancements are part of the zoo's master plan to create a more dynamic spaces for that foster connections between our guests and wildlife. And one of the most amazing parts of this, it's fully ADA compliant as we continue to bring this zoo forward to that the next decade. We look forward to all of the enhancements that have been made. We are incredibly grateful to the Cleveland Zoological Society and its wonderful donors who fully funded this $2.5 million exhibit. Let's give them a big round of applause. I love it when a great plan comes together. This project, literally start to finish, was done in just about a year. The construction began late last fall, and I really want to thank everybody that had a part in this, from the Cleveland Metroparks planning and design team. That may be the one plane in the sky that I've heard in the last, so that's good that we're being interrupted by that. Again, this team is led by Sean McDermott and his wonderful staff. John Cardwell and Chris Whittleson, 2 of our team members, designed the yard and the bull barn. They were down here meticulously looking at every placement of every piece of wood and stone along the way. Andy Simons, who managed the general construction, our contractors, Lawler Construction and Chieftain, they really made this exhibit possible during a very tough time here in the country. The CZS staff performed the landscaping, which I think is absolutely fantastic, and it really pays homage to the old Monkey Island exhibit. They did an amazing job. Our visual communications team has always created the team signage and did a fantastic job. On this great summer day, I am very proud to introduce Dr. Chris Kuhar, our Executive Director of the Zoo. Chris? I get to go stay in the shade now. I think we shake.
Yeah, we usually shake hands. You can't do that now. So good morning, everyone. I want to reiterate what Brian said. It's wonderful to connect with you, all of you, although perhaps not the way we wanted to, but it's great to be together with you all virtually and share this special day. Speaking on behalf of myself and my team, our volunteers, and all of the staff members here at Cleveland Metroparks Zoo, I just want to thank all of you who have reached out with messages of support during the closure, messages of support during the building of the Daniel Maltz Rhino Reserve, and messages of support in terms of animal care. And really, we know how important that is to all of you, and we really appreciate that. I want to echo Brian and say thanks to Sean McDermott's team in planning and design, Kelly Manderfield's team in visual communications, and of course my team on the animal care facility side, not only in the construction of this exhibit, but in maintaining our operation as an essential function over the past 3 months. I also want to thank everyone who's come to the zoo over the past 3 weeks for Cruise the Zoo, sponsored by Dollar Bank. That's been a really needed jolt of fundraising support for us, and we really want to thank all of you. And when we open this exhibit, the participants in Cruise the Zoo will be the first zoo guests to be able to experience this exhibit. So I want to say thanks to all of them. We're looking forward to folks not only driving through the zoo this week, but coming back to the zoo next week in our normal operation. At Cleveland Metroparks Zoo, we are focused on securing a future for wildlife, and what this exhibit does is really provide a feature place for our eastern black rhinoceros herd. We've had tremendous success breeding our eastern black rhinoceros. We had 2 calves in 2018. And with that success, we recognized that we needed a better space for our rhinos. So what we did was we created an exhibit that has wonderful shade structures and misters. It has heaters, although you might not think that we would ever need heaters based on a day like today, but we live in Cleveland and it's coming. Enrichment activities, feeding platforms, water sources, all those things that make up an exhibit in addition to the space. And this exhibit is more than doubling the amount of space we have for our rhinos. But a really key element is it's ADA accessible, so it's possible for all of our guests to be able to get up to this exhibit, and that's going to be really important for us because while we've really focused over the past several months on how do we get open safely, how do we protect our animals, how do we protect our guests, we really exist in order to secure a future for wildlife. That's fundamentally what our mission is. And if the COVID-19 pandemic has taught us nothing else, is that how connected we are to nature and how important it is to be able to balance wildlife, wild places, and human needs. So we're so tremendously excited to be able to open this exhibit. I want to thank all of the donors for their support in bringing this exhibit forward. And without further ado, I want to introduce Sarah Crupi. Sarah is the executive director of the Cleveland Zoological Society, and it's through the partnership with Cleveland Zoological Society that we were able to build this exhibit. They were able to bring the $2.5 million forward to build it, and we're so thankful for that partnership, and I'm so thankful for Sarah's leadership.
Thank you, Chris. I think you guys can hear me. I'm so pleased to be here, and thank you, Chris and Brian and everyone for having us. On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Cleveland Zoological Society, myself, and the Zoo Society team, we just want to thank the entire Metroparks team for not only today's celebration in a whole new way, but for all of the work that was done every day to bring to life this wonderful new home for our herd. This work went on steadily during zoo closure at a time when many of us, including me, couldn't see it day to day. So I have to tell you, I was a little bit moved walking in yesterday and seeing it because it's just such a glorious, I think, moment of pride in a month or a few months of frustration. So thank you to everyone that's been mentioned and for our collaboration with you. I have to say, it's such an honor for me personally to collaborate with the Metroparks and the zoo. You know, the Zoo Society raises private philanthropic support for education programs, conservation partners around the world, operations in Cleveland, and new habitats that help fulfill the vision of the zoo and help to secure a future for wildlife. And new habits are such a visible example of the generosity and passion of our donors and our friends who care for the zoo, for the animals, and for the people who care for the animals. So as amazing as it is to be here today, I'm a little sad that I'm here alone, without my staff, without the zoo staff, and especially without the donors. We have a lot of them watching at home, so I wanted to just really echo the thank you from Brian and Chris. Please know that even though you're not here with us today, everyone here is completely inspired by your generosity and driven by the passion you have to make this zoo wonderful. Donors are making this zoo great every day, and we have seen that especially during the closure and during the building of this amazing home. We had 2 very special friends help us with this, and I just wanted to really draw some attention to them today, even though they might not want it. Thank you so much to Daniel Maltz and his family for more than 10 years of philanthropic support for Cleveland Metroparks Zoo and for conservation partners around the world. Every time Daniel visits us, it feels so special. And I can tell you the rhinos know he's coming too, because the extra treats come out, and the keepers love when he visits. We appreciate his devotion to saving rhinos, giraffe, and so many species in the wild. And we vow to help use this habitat to build awareness of the plight of these animals. And we are so excited that he has helped provide not only support for those animals in the wild, but for the animals here in Cleveland. I also wanted to say thank you to Walter and Jean Kalber, who provided funding for the much-needed bull barn to give Forrest, the male rhino, his own space, and for the expanded yard. Walt and Jean just exude an enthusiasm for the zoo as a community asset and as a vital education tool for kids. You know, as parents and grandparents, they are so determined to provide new spaces, not only for the animals, but for the guests. They know that connecting people with nature and animals is so very powerful, and their generosity helps provide that at the zoo. Just this weekend, I talked to Jean, and she reminded me that she wants children to be able to walk in the barn. She wants school groups to be able to see this space. She knows that if kids and adults can learn about animals here, they will help protect them in the wild. So thank you so much to Daniel, Walt, Jean, and all of our donors for helping make this habitat a success. Their names are also along all of these beautiful benches, so please take a minute and thank them as you all walk around. I so look forward to seeing my staff and our donors in person again, hopefully in this space that your generosity helped build. Thank you.
2